There's a new Fast and Furious movie, and that means that Dom has a new Charger.
We're at the shop where they built the cars for Fast 10. We're gonna take a look at Dom's latest Charger, see how it compares to the Chargers from the rest of the franchise.
And we're gonna get our hands on a bunch of other cars from the new Fast X movie.
Dude, this is cool. Oh, man.
Welcome to Donut Family. Dude, Vin Diesel sat in this. I'm sitting in Vin Diesel's sweat right now.
You just made a big mistake.
All right, so the first car, this is a 1970 Dodge Charger, and for you Fast and Furious fans out there, it might look a little familiar, and that's because it was basically built as a tribute to Dom's Charger in the first film. It looks like a drag car that your grandpa would have built, or your dad, and that's what the car was in that first movie, but this has some very key differences with a real Dodge Charger. First and foremost, the legendary blower, thing that lets you do a burnout and wheelie at the same time. You might be surprised to find out that it's not real. James. There you go. This is actually a real blower. It's made of metal, but it has an electric motor inside of it that turns the pulley right here, which has a piece of rubber around it to make it look like there's a belt turning. The blower in the first movie was fake as well and was actually made out of fiberglass and mounted to the hood itself. And if you look closely, you can see the whole blower bouncing up and down with the hood when the car is at speed. The engine in here is actually V8, not a Hemi. Reliability is a huge thing on film sets. You want a car that starts up every time and doesn't give you issues when you're doing repeated takes. This car actually shows up in a scene where Dom is teaching his son how to do cool stuff like burnouts and donuts, and they spent all day, went through like 36 sets of tires or something like that. And you need a motor that can stand up to that kind of abuse. And the engine in here is actually perfect for that. And that's why we actually chose one for our own drift car.
This is one of two identical Chargers that they used for this scene in the movie. Whenever you make a movie with a car, you have multiples because things break, you gotta let them cool down, you gotta swap out tires, and every second on a movie set is very expensive. If they're sitting around waiting for a car to run, they're still paying Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
They're still paying Jason Statham.
All right, we are here with Dennis McCarthy, the picture car coordinator for Fast 10.
So these cars are over 50 years old at this point. Where do you source
They're hard
now?
to find, you know, and when you do find them, they're an absolute fortune. I mean, if I go back to say Fast and Furious 4, you know, you could pick up a junk, kind of ratty Charger, 12 grand, you know, sometimes 7 grand. Today, that same ratty Charger is probably 25,000. This might be partially due to, you know, our movies, I don't know. But nonetheless, they've gone through the roof. So it's always a hunt. Craigslist, eBay, obscure classifieds in different states. In this case, we lucked out. We found a few that were rusted beyond belief. Basically cars that you would never consider they'd be throwaways, but they had the few little elements that we need. It's crazy. Everything's expensive these days.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
I know.
I mean, this is obviously a very cool car, a very nice tribute to the first Charger in the first movie, but this isn't even the coolest Charger in Fast 10. We're gonna get to that one soon, but first, let's check out some other cool cars that are in this movie. Like this Datsun 240Z. Apparently this is driven by a new character named Isabelle, but by the look of it, Isabelle's pretty cool. In the movie, this car is said to be powered by an RB26, but because movie car, this car is powered by a small block Chevy. This turbo is just ornamental. Now, you Nissan fans out there might be thinking, the turbo should be on the other side, but again, it plays better here. Movie car.
This roll cage is very cramped. I'm too big for this thing.
I mean, if you get in close, you can see that these things are used. These things are bashed up. There's vinyl covering up a bunch of paint chips and stuff. We asked Dennis if we could sit in them, and he's like, they're movie cars. You can put your drink on the roof.
It's just amazing that you see these things on screen and you're like, that's the sickest build I've ever seen in my life. And then it has tape all over the roll cage.
These cars are closer to really like a track car. You know, they're solid motor mounts. We don't spend a lot of time with like fit and finish, checking the door gaps and the fender gaps. You know, it's just one of those things you don't catch it on film, and we just don't have the time. Like when building a car for a customer, it's always that last 5% that takes the longest time, making it idle perfect, making it drop into gear. Maybe there's a slight exhaust leak. Tire rubbage is always a factor. Like on a picture car, it's always my goal to put the biggest tire I can stuff under the car and get the car as low to the ground as possible and have it run. And the tires always rub. But luckily, when we're shooting a movie, we don't record sound. So the sound is recorded after the fact, so the tire can scrape, it can rub. It's not a safety issue, but it gets the car looking the way I want it to. You know, like I said, for a movie car, it does exactly what we need it to do.
Now this car and the Charger are pretty normal seeming cars, but this next one is the opposite of normal. It's downright strange.
This is a ramp car, but not the one from Fast 6.
This is a car built 100% from scratch.
6-wheel steering, and it can do like sideways crab crawling. The engine is in the back. This is a Oldsmobile 455 V8 attached to a transmission meant for a front-wheel drive RV, so he could get that perfect kind of fitment. And that's what I love so much about this shop and like movie cars in general is like, you know, Dennis has to kind of figure out what parts will let him achieve the vision, which is so cool.
All of these cars are characters, and they're certainly used to progress the characters of the actor. Also, these are the widest tires I've ever seen in my entire life.
I don't even know where you'd find anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't know they made tires that wide.
See, this is why Dennis' shop is the best, because he said I can stand on it, so I'm standing on it, and this is the coolest I've ever felt.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, like the fit and finish on these is like so cool. Like, you don't need to do that.
Dude, this is cool. Oh man. Yeah, I'd go down the 405 in this thing. This car is really cool, but I can't help but notice there's a lot of ruffles in here, James.
That's right, Nolan. Because today's sponsor, Fast 10, has teamed up with Ruffles to take your snacking up a notch.
What's the plan, Dom?
Check out specially marked bags of Ruffles featuring iconic Fast 10 rides and get your hands on this all-new Ruffles flavor. It's called Honey Habanero. This sweet with a little heat flavor will kick your taste buds into overdrive. I got it! Boom. The best part is one of you has the chance to win big by snacking on Ruffles and registering your own on-pack codes at rufflesfast10.com. On top of winning weekly prizes, one lucky grand prize winner will take home a last call blacktop package 2023 Dodge Charger RT that you can even have wrapped in Ruffles' unmistakable ridges. Click the link below to learn more, and good luck. Do I look like Han? So Tyrese drives this gold Lamborghini Gallardo in the movie, and when we first got here, we noticed, hey, gated shifter, manual Gallardo, sick. Then I got in and noticed that there's no clutch pedal, and the shifter's fake. This is just so you can see Tyrese rowing gears. Movie magic. Maybe my favorite car in this garage is this Alfa Romeo. I've always wanted one of these. I always thought that I would be too big for them, but apparently I fit perfect. This one has a stock engine, but they built one with a Ford EcoBoost 4-cylinder in it that Sung Kang, who plays Han in the movie, bought from Universal. But dude, this thing is so nice.
This is definitely like the most complete car in here.
It has a full interior. It has it's the only car we've been in so far with
Carpets, yeah.
I mean, this is not a stunt car. There's no roll cage, full paint job. Even the door jambs are painted. I would drive this if they would give it to me. Before we look at Dom's hero car Charger, let's check out his enemy's car, Jason Momoa's Dante's Impala SS.
Key differentiator between this car and the Chargers that we talked about, this is an all steel body car right here. And that's because it's a real Impala, James.
Yeah. Now, originally, Dante was supposed to drive a Nissan GTR, but Jason just didn't think it fit his character. So late one night, he hit up Dennis and he was like,
Hey man, we gotta change on my car.
I want it to be something big.
What they settled on was this, a huge Chevy Impala, and because it was so last minute, Dennis and the team couldn't build a car from scratch, so they sourced an actual drag car from Tennessee. Now this purple paint job is based on Jason's nail polish. Apparently he sent Dennis a bunch of pictures of his hands and his wardrobe, and Dennis and his team matched it perfectly for the film, which
love
is
it.
a really cool movie thing.
I mean, dude, matches your shirt, matches my phone.
Oh, dude.
Big fans of purple over here at Donut. I mean, this thing is a real drag car. Reminds me of the cars I grew up seeing at Famoso Raceway. I mean, it's got some cool Kragers in the front, stripped out interior. James, you can attest.
I mean, this thing smells like an old car.
Yeah, it's got these huge Mickey Thompson slicks in the rear, and you can see they're real slicks. Like, these things aren't running very high pressure right now. You can see the wrinkles right there. This thing might be one of my favorites in here, to be honest. I love this car.
Sounds like a gunshot.
All right, there's a lot of cars in Fast 10, but there's one more we gotta talk about today, and that is Dom's Charger. I'm gonna smoke his ass, dude. I'm gonna smoke him off the line.
Hit the nuts.
I don't wanna touch anything.
As we mentioned, Dom gets a very special Charger in Fast 10. That is this thing, the third act Charger. This is the car that he uses to race against Dante. This one's for all the marbles.
They built 14 of these cars. There's only 3 left. 3 of them made it out of the chute alive.
This is one of the more complete ones. This is what you call a hero car. So Vin Diesel actually drove around in this one. It's got a pretty complete interior. This is what you will see on screen. In previous movies, the Chargers have gotten a little out of hand. You know, we had the Ice Charger, we had a mid-engine Charger, we had an off-road like trophy Charger. This is a car.
The Chargers are 85% aftermarket. The only thing that's really left of the original car is a section of the firewall, you know, some of the inner trunk and quarter panel pieces, and that's about it. But everything else in the car is 100% carbon fiber. Hopefully the next movie we can fill in those few little gaps so we can basically build a car from scratch without, you know, any donor car whatsoever.
Beyond the carbon fiber body, there are a few key characteristics that make this car absolutely unique. For one, Dennis had a problem with how Dodge designed the Charger to begin with. He always thought that there was a little too much front overhang in front of the front wheel. So what do? You push the front wheel up 2 inches. Apparently this is like the modest version. In previous ones, he's pushed it up like 8 inches.
It's insane.
It's like, why does that one look so not
Exactly.
weird? Yeah,
Exactly.
it's because it looks better. Now Dennis wanted to modernize this entire car, and that includes the supercharger. So he replaced that big old BDS unit with this Whipple and a carbon fiber induction scoop. It does have an electric motor inside of it, just like the other one, but this one is connected to the throttle position sensor of the motor.
Yeah.
So the pulley will spin at different speeds depending on how much gas you're giving it.
Yeah, the butterflies will also open when you step on the gas. It's so cool. Just the lengths they go to make it more realistic, even though it's like a caricature of a Charger, you know, but it like makes sense in terms of movie production. This is the kind of solutions that you have to come up with to make it look real. Nope, there's nothing there.
Movie magic. This thing is sick. This is the car that Vin Diesel actually drove.
This is a big one.
I'll tell you one thing, Dom is a very utilitarian guy.
Oh, for sure. No frills in this.
Nope.
Look, it's carbon fiber.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I'm so curious, like, what do these weigh, you know, compared to a normal Charger? Probably thousands of pounds lighter.
Oh, I'm sure.
This thing probably handles way better than anything built in the 70s. That's a beefy shifter.
Rules, dude. Like, I love how these are built. They're built to be like super functional. I would maybe put some carpet in it or something, but dude, freaking, how many muscle cars do you see with like 3 pedals and modern shifters?
It's
and
really sick.
modern gauges.
Yeah.
Like, this is like exactly what I want.
All right, James, this is a hero car like you mentioned, but I heard they got one of the stunt cars out of storage and they're gonna do a little burnout for us.
Good?
Hit it! Sick.
Good way to clean the floor.
Yeah, right? Thank you for watching this video and everything else on Donut. Thank you to Fast 10 for having us out. Dennis for building all these cars and showing us around. Go see Fast 10 in theaters May 19th.
Thank you so much for making this possible by watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let us know what you want to see in the future in the comments. See you next time.